all you freaks and geeks out there in podcast land. It's Wednesday, April the 5th, and you know what that means. You got yourself a brand new episode of the Doctor's Orders podcast with the 512 Foot Doctor. The podcast where I meet with some of the most creative and influential people that I know to share stories from the ride of life. As always, I'm your host, the 512 Foot Doctor, coming at you live and direct on the road. This time, another roadcast. We're sitting in the beautiful Denton County Brewing Company back room here, and we're going to get into a sick little podcast. If you're a returning freak or geek, thank you very much for checking back into our regularly scheduled appointment. And if you're new here, tuning in for the first time, welcome to the Freaks and Geeks family. Freaks and Geeks, this is episode number 34, and we have the privilege to be on the road again. So something really, really exciting going on here. We're sitting in the Denton County Brewing Company back room, and we have the privilege of sitting with owner and head brewer Seth Morgan. Say what's up.
Hey, what's up, Doctor?
What's going on? What's going on? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for hosting us in this just beautiful back room, your little brew room here. Just thanks so much for that.
Yeah, are you kidding? Thank you so much for making the trip, man. I really appreciate it. It's good to meet you face to face, and this is always so much better than trying to do it like over the phone or Zoom or something like that. So yeah, cheers, man. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. And we're sipping on some beautiful beers. We'll get to talk about that in a little bit. But I've tried to move away from the Zoom podcast. I focused a whole lot of that when we had to, and now it's like, let's get on the road. Let's go meet people. Let's go shake some hands. Let's go mingle, and let's go learn and talk with the people of the world. You know?
Yeah. Well, some good things came out of COVID. Yeah. Zoom was one of them, but we don't have to hang on to it. QR codes, on the other hand, made a revival. Thank God, those are working good for us. So
QR codes did make a good run.
Zoom, you don't need to use Zoom for everything.
Yeah,
so.
I agree. So one of the early questions that we have on this podcast, with it being somewhat shoe related, is what do you got on feet today?
Oh, okay. So I'm not as cool with feet wear as I should be, but right now I've got some Red Wing boots on.
Red Wings are classic. We love Red Wings here as well.
Man, once you break them in, that process is a little painful, but once you break them in, they're so comfortable. Yeah. They can take a beating, and you can polish them up, and they still look good again. Yeah, but being back here, we're always getting dirty. We got, there's chemicals, there's water, there's beer. There's always something that's going to make your clothes dirty, so it's hard to keep a really cool set of shoes, but that's what I got on right now.
Excellent. What's your favorite brand of shoes?
Oh, I am absolutely a boot guy.
Okay.
So I wear boots most of the time, and I'm a Lucchese fan. If I'm being a little bougie, those are like the fancy boots.
Don't they make Big Texas boots? Big Texas boots?
That's Justin. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't. It used to be Justin forever. I wear a lot of Justins, but So I grew up in Texas. I'm definitely a boot guy, but having grown up in the '80s. Man, I gotta have some Vans.
Right?
Yeah,
nice.
I've probably got about 6 pairs of Vans. Yeah. So
That's it.
I wear Vans too.
Do you know about Tacovas?
You know what? I've been checking them out. I haven't purchased a pair yet, but they're on my feed because I keep going and checking them out.
They look very nice.
They look like really good boots. Yeah. So I have gotten just so close to, hitting the button and buying some. But I want to go to a place where I can try them on and just see how they fit. I've got my siblings tell me I've got Fred Flintstone feet. So it's like not all shoes were made for Fred Flintstone. Yeah. So I got to go try them on and make sure they fit. But yeah, man, I'm really checking them out. They look really cool.
They look very nice.
Yeah.
I know there's a couple of stores in Austin on South Congress specifically. There's one main try-on area, and I hear they really, they take care of you when you walk in there. They'll fit you up, and I mean, I've never purchased a pair of boots in that regard to where you're going to get a little pampering, if I may. But I hear they're doing some good work over there.
Very cool. Are they at Allen Boots, or is it they have their own standalone?
I think they have their own standalone.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, their own brick and mortar.
All right. Well, I'll be back down in Austin in about 6 or 7 weeks.
Cool.
You know what? I might have some boots next time I talk to you.
Yeah, but it's right by. It's in that general vicinity of that Allen's Boots on Congress.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, cool.
Sweet.
Do you keep any of your shoe boxes?
I keep some of them. Not all of them, but if it's a pair of shoes and I'm like, wow, I really like these and I want to protect them, I have this whole thing where I like all, whether even if it's house shoes or something like that,
Yeah.
I have them all like stacked up
Yeah.
and they're pretty neat and focused. But only on the ones that I'm like, okay, I got to make sure these stay clean.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not one of those guys that walks like
Funny.
a penguin
Yeah.
because I don't want to put creases in them or anything. But you know, some of them you're like, man, I want to look nice today. So yeah.
You got to wear your shoes, Freaks and Geeks, so they'll fall apart.
That's right.
All right, so let's get a little rundown here, Seth. Where are you from? You said you're from Texas. Where in our great state are you from?
Sorry about that. I was taking a drink.
It's all good. It's all good.
So I was born in Lubbock
Okay.
and moved all around Texas. I lived in Snyder, lived up by Wichita Falls and Burke Burnett. We lived in San Antonio, lived in San Marcos. Yeah, we've lived all over the place. I've been in Denton most of my life, though.
Okay. How many years did you stay in Lubbock for?
On and off, I'm thinking probably about 7 years.
7 years? Did you ever go to Joyland?
I was a kid, man.
Yeah?
I don't remember.
Okay.
That.
So Joyland's their little makeshift theme park they got down there near like Prairie Dog Village and whatnot.
I remember Prairie Dog Village.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember
That's
that.
a pretty cool spot.
Yeah, but we lived kind of out in the country.
Oh, I gotcha.
And so, you know, we played with tumbleweeds. That was about the best we had, man.
I've got a couple of stories out there. I've got some relatives out there, but that's cool. Another connection there. So coming back into this Denton area, is that where you grew up for the most part? You spent most of your time here?
Yeah, so we have moved here and away and back probably 4 times, and it just keeps bringing us back.
Yeah.
I love the community, I love the people, and we made a lot of friends, and so, yeah, it always just keeps bringing us back, man. This definitely feels like home now.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I've made this trip back. I've made a couple of trips back here, and there's always positive vibes here for sure. You meet some cool people. Those people turn into friends. Those friends turn into family, and you just get another little home base.
And positive vibes keep getting better.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, what started your interest in craft brewing?
So, I think like a lot of people, I started drinking, you know, I had a really good fake ID. So I started drinking when I was young, and I was a consummate, you know, what was on sale? You know, was it Milwaukee's Best? Was it Natty Light? Or I didn't really care. I was just like, oh, let's just do this beer thing.
Yeah.
And when I went to high school, and I went to college here at UNT at University of North Texas, which, by the way, shout out, we just won NIT.
Big shout out to them. Light the tower.
Yeah, big deal
That's
for
cool.
Mean Green. So went to school here, and one summer while I was going to North Texas, me and a buddy of mine did the Eurail trip, Eurail Pass, went to Europe, just traveled on trains for a summer. And man, I fell in love with it. And the beer was weird, and I was like, this is crazy stuff. But I was like, I got to go back. So I came back, applied to be an exchange student.
Okay.
And at the time, you know, I was like, I can only speak English, so I'm going to England or I'm going to Australia, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, there's not many options. So I ended up going to England, and, you know, you roll up into a pub over there and you ask for, you know, a Keystone Light, and they just laugh at your face. And so you start drinking all this dark beer that's not carbonated and it's warm. And, you know, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the style. I fell in love with the culture of how pubs work over there, what they mean to communities. And so when I got back, I was like, man, this was before the big craft beer craze started. Yeah. So I started trying to homebrew, and man, it was terrible.
Yeah.
But I kept trying and kept doing it. And then I met a guy who had been homebrewing for a long time, and he taught me how to homebrew. And then I was able to start making beer that really tasted like the stuff that we were drinking over there. Yeah. So that was it. I went over there and just, you know, it was what we had when we were over there, and fell in love with it, and I didn't want to give it up when I got back. So
that's cool.
Led to homebrewing.
I've tried to dabble into homebrewing, but I've never felt that I had all the equipment necessary. It's like you always think you need one more thing. You really do. I think what's holding me back is a wort chiller right now.
Oh, yeah. You have to have that. That's a very important.
For sure. So I've just got a bunch of supplies, never used them. They need to be used, but I don't know.
You just come brew with us.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd definitely be cool. What's your favorite style of beers?
Oh, man. I have 4 kids. That's like asking who's my favorite child. It depends on it depends on the day, I guess. But, you know, honestly appreciate every single style. And it really depends on the time of the day, the time of year. It's like what I'm doing, what am I eating, like just what's happening. Right now, I'm on a big West Coast IPA kick.
Okay.
So it varies. I mean, I drink a little bit of everything, but yeah, good old fashioned West Coast IPAs is that's kind of my jam right now.
I got you. Do you feel your palate for beer changes with the seasons throughout the year?
I don't know if because I mean I'll drink a dark beer in the summer.
Okay.
I'm not scared.
Yeah.
But it just depends on what I'm in the mood to drink, you know, because a lot of those are just like big, they're heavy, they're chocolate, they're they're roasty, like coffee and stuff. You know, like I mean, people drink coffee year round, right?
Yeah.
So, and tea and stuff like that. So, I don't say that it's not really. I think by and large, people associate darker beers, heavier beers with colder months.
Yeah.
And so we tend to have more of those in the winter and then more light stuff in the summer. I will tell you, if I'm outside working or doing something and it's just crazy hot like it is in Texas, I'm definitely down for something that's crispy boy. So something nice and light and just easy to quench your thirst or just to not feel bloated.
Gotcha. So we're sitting in your brewing room here.
Yeah.
This is your first like brick and mortar, right?
Yeah, it is.
So, and that started in 2017?
It did.
Cool. So I mean, you're 6 years coming up soon, right?
Yeah, this month.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Shout out to that.
Yeah.
How does this place come to be it? I mean, you talked a little bit about the home brewing venture, but where did that jump from home brewing to like, I'm going to purchase a spot and we're going to put a couple of tanks in here and we're going to get down and dirty and make a couple of beers?
Oh, well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I had a stroke that I didn't know about and, gave me this crazy idea. But because so before I did this, I was in corporate America for 28 years. Okay. Man, I wore a suit and tie every day, and it was a totally different life. And I loved it. I made so many good friends, lots of good people, but I knew that just wasn't my purpose or what I was supposed to do. So the whole time I was still homebrewing, and I know that when I was having a bad day, my wife would be like, you know what, why don't you go homebrew? Because when I get lost in making beer and it's just there's so many elements to it that are so cool. Yeah. And I really like just getting into the nitty gritty of it. And she goes, yeah, that's one of my happy places. So like, go brew. And I remember it was one Saturday. I'd apparently had a pretty bad week at work, and I was like, man. And I remember I'd finished. I was, it was a Saturday, and I'd brewed that day, and we were cooking dinner together, and I was chopping vegetables. I remember it so clearly, and I was like, man, I really wish we could open a brewery. And my wife was there, and I remember she had like a knife in her hand, and she like kind of, put it down, and she looked at me, and she was like, well, either do it or stop talking about it. So apparently I had said that several times, and I looked at her and I said, are you serious? And she goes, yeah, I trust you. And this was like 2011. Yeah. And so I was like, well, it'd be a big lifestyle change, and we'd have to, it'd be a big move. And she said, well, let's put together the financials. Let's do a business plan. Let's do some research and see if it's viable. One thing led to another, and realized, yeah, it was really viable. This was on the front end of this big wave that we've seen, and people were looking for craft beer. And, the wave is still growing, and it's picking up market share. So, yeah, that's where it all started. But we wanted to make sure we did it the right way. Yeah. I've never opened a brewery before. My family had a family business, a construction business down in Austin and San Antonio when we were growing up. So I understand, the family business idea and what, just the work that would go into it. But yeah, we wanted to make sure that we were going to do it the right way. And so I went to school. I was like, man, if we're going to make beer, we got to make sure we make really good beer that we're going to be proud of. And so we made sure we took that process. I went to school. I did a lot of research. I was still traveling at the time. I probably visited easily over 400, 500 breweries traveling the country with my past job. Yeah. And I would go talk to people and like, okay, how did you open? Why did you open? Like, give me some tips of the trade. And so that led to 2015. And we started our rent here in 2015. Okay. And we had a pretty tough time with the city. We were kind of a new animal for them. Yeah. And they didn't know really how to work with us, a brewery. And so that took a little while. So we didn't open until April of 2017. Yeah, that was a tumultuous time.
Yeah.
It was pretty dang tough. But
Yeah, it was definitely difficult in those early eras of like buy the glass and get the coins. Do you remember that time? And there was
heck yeah.
there was a lot of regulations put on by wherever you're trying to set up base.
Oh, we work with the distributor in distributing our beer to bars and restaurants and stuff. And we have a very, very good relationship with them. And we partner with them really well. But there are some distributors in the industry that do not want to see craft beer pick up any market share unless they own them.
Yeah.
Which is like, hey, it's people, give people what they want. It's not your decision. It's the people's decision. And there are a lot of rules in place right now. And they do a lot of lobbying down at the Capitol in Austin and spend millions of dollars to try to keep us from having the rights that we really should have.
Yeah.
Like, for example, as right now, I'm going to get on my soapbox just for a second. The 88th legislative session is in session right now as we speak, and we're trying to get a law passed which allows us to send beer directly to people's house. So what's crazy is you can go online, you can go to Total Wine, you can go to Specs, you can go to Goody Goody, and you can order stuff, and they'll ship it straight to your front door.
Yeah.
You can get a case of tequila if you want, but and you can order beer. But if somebody calls us and says, hey, you know what, I don't want to drive, or I've got a party coming, can you send us a 12-pack of beer? We're not allowed to do it.
Yeah.
Now you can call a restaurant and they can send you, some tacos and a bottle of tequila and stuff to make margaritas, and you can get it from them.
Yeah.
But we can't do it.
Yeah.
Wineries can do it. They've been able to do it since 2005. But breweries cannot do it. So we're fighting just for the right to not be discriminated against just because of our business model. So distributors want us to sell beer to them. They usually take about a third cut.
Yeah.
And then they say it's okay to ship directly to the person, but they won't let us do it.
Yeah.
But we're a small mom and pop business. I mean, my wife and I put all of my 401k in to start this.
Yeah.
And so it's like we can't afford to do enough cans or bottles to send through distribution because the margins are so small. So that's something that all of the small brewers are fighting for, but it's kind of the David and Goliath thing, right?
Yeah.
We're kind of the small guys. We don't have a lot of money to sway politicians like the big lobbyists do. But you know what? We're going to keep fighting, man.
Have to.
Yeah, we're not giving up.
Is the organization you speak of the Texas Craft Brewers Guild?
Yeah.
Cool.
Sure is.
Cool. Yeah, they did. I've seen the work that they do in the Central Texas area, so they definitely get out and lobby and advocate for advancements in craft brewery and craft brewery distribution. So
yeah, I'm on the board with that, and it's such a good organization, such good people, and everyone's just really passionate for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Everyone is really fighting for the right reasons. So it's pretty cool.
Awesome, man. Awesome, excellent. So. Tell us about this Lady Saison. This is a new release?
Yeah.
It just dropped recently, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we have a couple of really good friends. So Taylor is my lovely lady hop. So if you go on Instagram, she's an influencer, and she's also she books travel trips. She's a travel I would say travel ambassador, concierge, but she does trips and helps people plan really good trips. She travels all around the world. She's very knowledgeable about stuff. But they're also huge beer fans.
Yeah.
And the idea of doing a saison, which actually in French means season, and it's a French-style beer, and she loves France, and so we wanted to do something built around that and do a collaboration together.
That's cool.
So we released the first of 4 beers in this series collaboration, and it's a classic northern French saison farmhouse beer. And it's a lot of fun. We get to spend time with them. So the best thing about collaboration beers when you get together is you get to work, but you still get to spend time with your friends and hang out and laugh and drink beer and have a good time. But it's a classic farmhouse ale. And we have some really, really cool surprises happening with that through the year. The next one's actually going to have smoked mango in it.
Oh.
And then we have one later in the year that's it's a white wine barrel aged version.
Okay.
So we're doing some fun stuff. So stay on the lookout.
Definitely. What's your thoughts on the fruited sours?
Yeah, you know what? They're good. I think people don't understand what beer is or what it can be, and fruits historically has always been a big part of beer, even before people knew what beer really was. Where some water would be there, some fruit would naturally ferment in it, and it would create alcohol or ethanol in it, and people drink it and be like, man, that tastes good and I feel good. So, right? So it's like, let's do that again. It's we do some of them, and I think it's a cool way to express and show people what beer can be, because there's over 100 styles of beer. Yeah. But if you ask the average American, they're like, oh, well, I know 3 kinds of beer: Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Lite. Yeah. Like, no, that's all the same beer. It's just different brands, So, I'm down with them.
Cool. For the non-beer drinker, or like a person just trying to dabble into craft beer, what is a beer style that you recommend someone start off with?
Okay, this is you know what? I got a couple of thoughts on this. One is what we just talked about. So fruited sours, we have one that's called Pineapple Buzz, and man, it tastes just like pineapple juice. Okay. Just happens to have about 6.5% alcohol in it, and it's so approachable, and it works so good with food. That's one that is like, people will try that and they're like, well, I don't like beer, and I'm like, well, you just haven't found the right beer. Yeah. So we do this game up front actually, and people say, well, I don't drink beer, and I'm like, okay, well, give me 5 things you like to drink: alcoholic, non-alcoholic. It can't be water, and it can't be sparkling water like Topo Chico. I mean, give us something with flavor. And they can give us some different things that they like, and we can always find a beer that is close to that flavor profile. Yeah. And fruited ones tend to be ones that people who don't drink beer a lot is a good one. And surprisingly, this is, I guess, my hot sports opinion, is stouts. So if people say, oh, I love chocolate, I love coffee, and like, oh, okay, well, you know what, try this. And they're like, oh, wow, this, I didn't think this doesn't taste like beer. It tastes like milk chocolate or something. Yeah. So I think that's another one that tends to surprise people.
That's good. I feel that I'm not a stout guy, but I like the openness you have with exploring or trying to get into someone else's palate, and like, hey, you do like this one. This is something you get down with. Yeah, so cool on that.
It's actually a whole lot of fun. When you get that surprised look on people's face and like, oh my gosh, this is beer, and you're like, yeah. So it's a lot of fun.
What are some of you, aside from this establishment, what are some of your favorite breweries in the state and the country?
Oh man, that's a hard one, because you want to list all of them, right? All the ones that are your friends. Okay, give me a city. Or do you want to?
Let's do. Because the go-to is Austin, but I don't want to do that.
There's some good ones in Austin.
There's some really good ones.
There's some dang good ones in Austin.
Let's do Austin.
Yeah. Well, okay. You know what? If you like, I love Holdout. Yeah. Brewing. I love Meanwhile.
This is a newer one.
Yeah, they're making some really good stuff, and they're just super good people.
Cool
as well.
Vibe over there.
Yeah, great vibe. I love Austin Beer Works. Mm-hmm. If you ever go to Vista Brewing.
I have not, but that's out there in like Dripping Springs area.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's a cool one.
I would definitely check them out. Yeah. Great beer, great location, great people. Let's see, what are some of the other ones out there that I really that I always tend to hit?
There's a new one coming out on 35 called like Fast Friends Brewing Company.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, that's a very new one. It hasn't opened up yet. It's in the process of doing that.
I don't know that. I've heard of it, but I haven't been there. Yeah. St. Elmo's another one. They're really good. And then, of course, if you want like light beers, pilsners, I'm a huge Live Oak fan. So
yeah, Live Oak's cool. Live Oak's been there for a while.
So good.
A whole long time.
God, they make great beer. Yeah. Man, there's so many. There's a bunch of really, really good ones there. Yeah. So I know I've left some off the list, but there's a start for there. Yeah. If you go down to San Antonio, there's one called Roadmap that I love.
I don't think I've been there.
Oh, check them out. There's some good. Man, the scene down there is really popping off too. That's good. So my daughter lives in Seattle, so I'll throw out a couple that are out of state as well. gosh, I'm getting all these are popping in my head now. Like all these ones, like there's a bunch in New Mexico, and like Pondaseta in Lubbock is a really good one.
Okay.
I'm thinking about we always go up to Colorado.
Yeah.
Cerberus is up there. That's a really good one in Colorado Springs. But yeah, so my daughter lives in Seattle, and I'm a big Fremont fan. They're so good. And then my son lives in Portland, Oregon, and there's so many good ones there. I'm a huge Great Notion fan. I'm a Frame fan, Frame family. God, there's so many good ones.
Yeah.
Chuckanut is another one. Man, there's so many good breweries out there now, which is great to see.
Y'all were part of that collab that Sierra Nevada did for that fire, wildfire
Yeah, we
thing,
were.
right?
Yeah.
Tell us about that process.
Yeah. Well, that was really cool because that was the first time that I think nationally, and thank goodness for Sierra Nevada, they've always been a pioneer and a leader in the beer industry, craft beer industry specifically. And when that happened, there were a lot of these people that were just devastated, and there were people that were killed and lost everything. And in a small level, as a brewery, we always work to be part of the community and help out where we can. But I think being a small brewery, we didn't realize the leverage that we could have on a national level if we all come together and do something. And they certainly had the bandwidth and the voice to say, hey, let's raise this money for these people, for the wildfires. And so that was really the first one. That was one, and then Black is Beautiful came, and we were part of that one as well.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, so it's awesome because I think it fits in perfectly with what the brewing industry, the craft brewing industry, really stands for. Not to say that other industries don't.
Yeah.
But craft beer is all about community.
Yeah.
So that's not only your backyard, that's not only your state, but it's nationally. If you can find ways to come together to collaborate to do stuff. So when that came out, I was not surprised at all. I was not shocked that just thousands of breweries stepped up immediately and said, yeah, let's go. Let's do this.
Because y'all all brewed the same thing, right?
We did.
They sent y'all the recipe, or
They did.
And then it's just take it as you do it?
Yeah, we did it. We brewed it, and then we took the proceeds and we sent them back to the foundation that was
that's really
building.
cool.
Yeah. Same thing for Black is Beautiful.
Yeah.
We actually do another one right now with the city of Denton.
Okay.
We brewed a beer with locally grown wheat.
Mm-hmm.
So it supports about 100 farmers around here. And we work in collaboration with the local seed company that's right down the MBS, that's right down the street from us, just wonderful people. And so all the wheat is locally grown, so we made a wheat beer, and it's actually Hefeweizen. And $1 of every pint that we sell goes back to the Parks Foundation,
All right.
which goes to support local parks, so we can keep them in shape, we can build more, and just create more awareness. And so craft beer has always been and always will be about being part of the community, helping the community, and making it better than when you stepped into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's excellent. I dig that. So tell us about, we were talking about it a little bit before we started recording. What is the difference between being a head brewer and head brewer and a brewmaster?
Yeah, so it's that specific nomenclature. Everyone says, "Oh, you're the brewmaster. You're the brewmaster." And I guess technically I am the brewmaster because I run all the brewing here. I'm the owner, and I joke I'm also the head janitor because that's usually what the job turns out to be. But there's a school in Germany that when you graduate from, you get the title of actual brewmaster. So it's more of an unwritten rule that as a brewer, I'm the head brewer, but I don't want to be called the brewmaster because I didn't go to that school. So,
Okay.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that or know that, and so they'll say, "Oh, you're the brewmaster." I'm like, "Well, yeah," but when brewers talk to each other, unless they went to that school or they've been in the business and they've been brewing for 25 years commercially, they kind of earn that title. It's more of a kind of a respect thing. So when people say, what's your title? And my business card, it just says head brewer. Yeah. So.
But that's good to just speak on that. So, I mean, I'm sure I didn't know the difference between that. So, thank you for bringing that to light.
Yeah, sure.
Personal kind of question about like the kind of the origin of your brewing. Mm-hmm. What were you gonna do if people didn't like your beers?
Okay.
What was your second plan? Your backup?
Cry a lot. You know what? That's a really good question. We went into this specifically not having a plan B. We said we are going to. We don't want to take up any mind space thinking that we have to have a fallback plan. Yeah. We were absolutely 100% aggressively going to move forward and make it happen. And you know what? When we first opened, we made a lot of mistakes. Well, we still make mistakes. And, not all of our beers, are perfect. And so we are constantly striving to always make beer better. So, and we had a lot of folks that came in, they were like, your beer's okay. And, you read comments online. And, people are like, beer's, a cool place, nice people. Yeah, but the beer's not that good. And so it's like, okay, well, we got to go to work on that. So Andrew brews back here with me, and he's the brewer. And it's funny, we're fist pumping all the time because we'll brew a beer and we're like, you know what, best batch yet. So we're always constantly striving to make every beer better. Yeah, and we get comments pretty often too, like man, you're so much better than last year. Like, this beer is like so much better than it was 2 years ago. Yes, I don't know if that answers your question, but we were like, no, we are like just hell bent that we are going to make this work, and we have no option. So there is no turning back. Determination. Yeah. Good. So we're looking at a couple of tanks in here. Do you have any names for them? Individual names? Some people like it. Yeah. What's funny is they have gone in and out of names for but we haven't officially. We were going to do something and you could donate money and you could name the tank or something, but we never did that. So no, we're pretty boring. We started with 3 and we've got 5 now, and we're talking about buying more. So originally we were going to do something kind of kitschy that was like, you could do in 3s, like band members like Peter, Paul, and Mary or something, something, goofy. I mean, it's funny, we don't even really listen to them, but I mean, just as an example, we were trying to think of names. But no, we just, we're boring, man. It's FV1 through 5 right now. All right. Yeah. Fermentation vessel 1 through 5. They're cranking out good beers, tell you that much. Well, thank you, man. Thank you. Let's do a little beer pairing. So you mentioned what you like to do. Before we do, for sure. Can we take a quick? I have an empty glass, and that's a travesty. Let's do it. Okay, I'm going to go grab one. All right, Freaks and Geeks. So this is episode number 34. We're sitting here with Seth Morgan at Denton County Brewing Company, and he just poured up 2 beautiful-looking beverages. Tell us about these. Yeah, so this was a lot of fun. That idea of pushing the limits on what people believe beer is, we always try to experiment and do stuff that's, that may or may not make sense. It might be commercial suicide, but it's always fun to try new things. So we have really good friends over at Bent Distilling. It's a distillery in Louisville, Texas. They're amazing people. They make such good product. We absolutely love their stuff, and they're just such good people. It's whenever we hang out together, it feels so good. We're like laughing and smiling and just joking and having a beer, and they're really good. So we swap ideas, and we give them beer. They give us whiskey. So there's a joke in the industry. Yeah. And this goes all the way around. It's like it takes a lot of wine and whiskey to make beer. It takes a lot of wine and beer to make whiskey, and it takes a lot of beer and whiskey to make wine. Yeah. If you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So all of us share wine, beer, whiskey, whatever, just to help each other out. And so we also get barrels from them. Okay. So I think it was probably a couple of years ago. Yeah, you can see we have a bunch of barrels. We're aging all kinds of stuff here, and they took a few bourbon barrels and they filled them with all the ingredients of an old-fashioned cocktail. Okay. So they put the bitters in there. Of course, the bourbon was already in there. And they put in the orange peel. They put in the Luxardo cherries. And they let it age for, I think, 6 to 8 months. Nice. And so then they sold it. So it was a ready-to-go, already in the bottle, completely mixed, barrel-aged, old-fashioned. Oh, wow. And it was so good, by the way. Yeah, I got some bottles, and man, once you pop it, it's like you better be with some friends because you're going to finish the whole thing. Really, really good stuff. Anyways, when they got done with those barrels, we got the barrels, and it still had a lot of that flavor profile in it.
Yeah.
And we got two, but the one that we're trying here, we took our wheat beer, which is locally grown wheat, the one we talked about with, it's called Triple Play, that supports local parks.
Yeah.
And we put the wheat beer in there. So the wheat beers already have, some of those sweet notes. They've got a lot of those orange notes, a lot of things that we believe would really complement an old fashioned.
Yeah.
And so we put it in there, left it for 14 months, and this is the result. So cheers.
Cheers. Thanks again.
Yeah. Sorry for the microphone sipping, but you got to take a whiff of that, smell it, taste it. So it's
That's really good.
a beer,
Yeah.
old fashioned.
That's really good.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, and as it warms up, a lot of those like cherry
They come
notes
out.
and they really, really come out. So and you totally get a lot of the wood character.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun beer, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's,
that's
I like
really
it a lot.
cool.
I'm a big old fashioned head.
Yeah,
And
so
that's good stuff.
isn't that cool? Yeah, so we didn't add anything to it. That was just what was in the barrel and the beer.
Yeah.
And turned into just like it's. Yeah, I mean you get citrus. You get a little bit of the even the Luxardo cherry, and you definitely get some of the bourbon and the wood profile on it. So
What's this one called?
yeah. So the base beer is called Triple Play, and the idea is playing games like baseball in all the local parks. It was a partnership with us, the Parks Foundation, and the Denton Park and Recs Department. So 3 people involved in a collaboration, called it Triple Play. Since we included Bent in this one, we called it Foreplay. So it's kind of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, this technique you were showing, like I'm just kind of mirroring it, but
Yeah.
I did get more cherry after trying to warm that up.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's if you ever have a beer that's supposed to be consumed a little bit warmer, if you just take it and put your hands around it, cup it for about 60 seconds, you're going to increase the temperature, assuming it's, your hands aren't cold and it's 30 degrees out.
Yeah.
You're not standing outside, but just normal temperate Texas, you're going to increase the temperature about 6-7 degrees,
Yeah.
which makes a really big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a nerd, so we'll do this and we'll stick a thermometer in it and watch the temperature go up and see how long it takes to increase. So if I hold it for a minute, I know what the temp's gonna be.
Yeah. What'd you study at UNT?
Oh man, I studied everything. I was really good at squeezing 4 years into 6.5 years. Yeah. So I had a lot of fun in the meantime. But I studied. I say we. I don't know who I'm talking about. Me and I guess my alternative personality, but. I studied everything, and I ended up with 160 hours. And then I just went to, after I got back from England, I just went to my, my counselor and said, I got to get out of here. What can I do? I'd been doing biology and chemistry and history. I'm a huge history nerd.
Yeah.
And doing business and international business and political science. And I just said, what can I do with all this crap? Not crap, but And they were like, well, you know what? We have this degree, which is general studies. They have a cooler name now, but with everything you've done, you can do kind of it's a general degree in 3 different areas as opposed to one area.
Yeah.
And so I did that. And it ended up being biology, history, and science.
That's cool.
Yeah, or political science.
Do you have a favorite UNT alum? There's a lot out there.
Dang, there's so many.
2 for me come to mind.
Go ahead.
Of course, Mean Joe,
Yeah, that's the first one that pops up.
for sure. Stone Cold Steve Austin is an alum.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dang, that's a good one.
Those are my 2.
Oh.
My 2 faves.
You know what? I'll have to say maybe Glenn Fry,
Okay.
of Eagles fame.
Yeah, yeah.
That's one. And I like music, so that's music and acting. So that's those are good. You know what? This name just popped up recently, which is a blast from the past. Is Edie Brickell.
Who is that?
Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians. They were a super popular music group. Yeah.
That sounds familiar. The New Bohemians. Is that Keith Richards?
No.
Which one is?
It's but they're just a bunch of old. I mean, they were more of a pretty good 80s band. But I mean, that's one.
Because I feel like when Keith Richards he didn't step away from the Rolling Stones, but he did a little side project, and I feel like he used Bohemian. I could be wrong on that.
What about Norah Jones?
Yeah, Norah Jones is a killer.
Yeah. I think that's.
I didn't know that Bowling for Soup was from Denton.
Oh, yeah.
A buddy of mine told me that just recently.
That's right. Bowling for Soup is another one. Yeah.
I had no clue on that.
Yeah. And you know what? Someone told me that Woody Harrelson went to school here for a little while. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
So there you go. That's another fun, because he's a Texas boy, so that's another fun one.
Woody's good.
Yeah.
Definitely dig Woody. I was watching White Man Can't Jump last night.
Yeah.
Just out of
nice.
nowhere. So let's do a little pairing segment. I'm going to throw you out some foods and one activity, and tell me what beer of yours and or just general recommendation beer that you would pair with these things.
Okay.
So
do I have a shot clock or?
No, you can take that.
All right.
So steak. What are you going to pair with steak?
Right.
Excuse me. How do you like your steak prepared? First off,
So you've heard of like Pittsburgh style?
love Pittsburgh, but no. What is that?
Yeah. So Pittsburgh style is, so I like it medium rare.
Okay.
But Pittsburgh style is like, or they call it like black and blue.
Okay.
So it's like super, super seared on the outside and still like rare. I think actually a black and blue is, rare on the inside, but I like it medium rare.
Okay.
But it's like crazy, as hot as you can get it. It's almost pan fried if you do it in like a true skillet.
Yeah.
Or if you do it on the grill, I'll put olive oil or some kind of like canola oil or something on the outside. So when it hits it, it sears it like, I really like it crispy on the outside, which is interestingly enough, that's called the Maillard reaction, which is the same thing that happens to grain and barley when it's malted for beer. So I'm like, hey, there's Andrew. There's that's what we were just talking about. Hopefully your ears were burning.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah. So Andrew just stepped up. He's one of the brewer here. So I'll say one of the brewers.
Hey,
it's you and I. Yeah. Yeah. Doing a little podcast, having a beer. So hey, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Come join us if you want to.
Oh, I gotta get going.
Okay. All right. Drink a beer for me.
Okay, I'll do that right now.
All right. There you go. A little guest appearance.
Cool. A little pop in. Very nice.
So, Pittsburgh style. You get your grill as hot as you possibly can, or if you're doing a skillet style, put a little bit of oil in there and get that guy like just super, super hot. And you sear it, but it's still like medium rare on the inside.
Do you know what? I mean, I'm a big Pittsburgh guy. I love Pittsburgh. Half my heart's black and gold.
Oh, okay.
Why do they call it that?
I think that's where that style originated from.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Pittsburgh style.
That's cool. Never had it. I think that's where we're going to have those from now on.
Oh, you got to check it out. It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good because it's like really crispy on the outside. A lot of black pepper and like salt.
Yeah.
Like pink Himalayan salt's really good.
Yeah.
And then just a little bit of oil to make it really, really crispy. That's all you need, man.
Yeah. We're going to try that. We are going to try that.
Okay, yeah, that's how I like my steak. How about you? How do you like your steak?
I like a good medium.
Okay.
Yeah. Medium rare as well, right in there.
Yeah.
Medium rare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on where I go, I'll do a medium rare plus.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you say medium rare and it's still like cold and and like purple inside. It's not even cooked, so you gotta like.
I like to make them on my own, like at home. To be honest with you, I
Me too.
Used to be a steakhouse guy, but I'm like, I can honestly do this a little bit better.
Me too.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, I think it's the attention. You know exactly what you want, and then after I sear it, you take it off. You put some butter on there, let it rest, and and then it's just so good.
Do you like cooking?
I love cooking.
Yeah. Who are some of your favorite? We're getting off topic, but we'll come back.
Yeah.
Who are some of your favorite cooking inspirations, or cooks, or chefs, or anything like that?
Okay, this is such a corny answer, but it's so true. My wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is a fantastic cook.
Cool.
Yeah, she's so her stepbrother went to culinary school. Her mom was a huge cook. I mean, her family was just a huge foodie family.
Yeah.
We were too. Well, no, we weren't. I mean, growing up, it was just like a whole lot of pizza, and like just simple stuff, and we ate a lot of, SOS and, stuff that just nothing really that fancy. But as I got older and hung out with her, even when we were in like college, she was cooking all the time. And so, she was really my biggest, and she's a big fan of Jacques Pierre. So, just that French style. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool. It's traditional, but they're very creative as well. Yeah. So, that's, I don't have a lot of, great inspiration for that. But I would, honestly, she cooks so much cool shit. Cool. I mean, I'm just like, man, where'd you come up with that? She'll whip up and like come up with flavors. I'm like, oh, we don't have anything to eat, whatever. She goes, yeah, we do. She'll go and she'll like pull stuff out of the cabinet, out of the freezer, out of the fridge, and she puts something together. And I'm like, dang, I didn't we had that here. That's so good.
That's great.
Yeah, so she's amazing. So,
do you have a favorite Denton restaurant, past or present?
Oh man, you're asking some deep cut, hard questions. So it depends on what I'm in the mood for. There's 2 burger places in town that I absolutely love. If you want like old school burger, there's one called Denton Independent. If you want, just good, feel good food burger, I always go to Roosters.
Okay.
For that. My wife and I love sushi. There's a place here called Keiichi.
Okay.
It's like a 6-month wait list to get in.
Really?
And he is off the chart good. Yeah. It's ridiculous how good his sushi is. Yeah. Like people drive from Dallas, chefs from Dallas drive up here to eat at his place. We had some friends that lived in Japan and they're foodies for 7 years, and they're like, this is some of the best sushi we've ever had in our life. Yeah. I mean, he's incredible. He literally...
Go for it. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I got excited.
You're good.
He literally drives to the airport, to DFW airport every day to pick up fresh fish that was flown in directly from Japan.
Yeah, that's commitment right there.
And so every day his menu changes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
you just go in there and do omakase.
Yeah.
You're going to drop a few C-notes.
Couple of coins.
Yeah, a couple coins, but you're going to walk away just like, I didn't know my mouth could experience that. That was pretty good.
Might have to check that out.
Yeah, he's super good. So those are a couple.
Cool. Did you see that movie? Was it The Menu?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
It's kind of like a thriller. With culinary, like
it's kind of creepy,
very culinary vibes. Yeah, check that one out. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it was a decent watch.
Okay,
yeah,
all right, cool.
Good little watch through. It does, big
question. Do you want to eat? Should I eat before, during, or after I watch it? Because I've heard I heard a little bit about it.
I would eat before.
Okay, yeah, because I don't want to eat during. I heard it's like, ooh,
yeah. No, it pushes an envelope of like suspense and I guess horror for sure. It's a good film though. I liked it.
I need to check it out.
Good little modern take. So,
beer.
What would you pair with a steak?
Okay, steak. So there's 2 schools of thought for pairing in my mind, and one is you want to do things that are balanced, either in how big the food is, how heavy the food is, or you want to do things that completely contrast each other. So you either want to complement 2 things. So you want to do like chocolate covered strawberries with a chocolate milk stout, or you want to do something completely different where you get 2 opposing flavors that go really well together. So with this one, the couple of things that I would choose, one would be a classic German Pilsner.
Okay.
Because with a steak, you're going to have like a lot of umami. There's a lot of fat, right? So you need something that is clean, crisp, prickly, a lot of carbonic acid because of the carbonation. It's going to clean your palate and you're ready for the next bite. So that would be one. But then one that I would really want to do with that would be like a barrel-aged brown ale or a barrel-aged porter. A stout might be a little too much. I wouldn't want anything too heavy, but I would probably do like a barrel-aged Oktoberfest beer, something along those lines, because it's going to have like so many like really rich notes from the barrel. You're going to get a lot of the caramel notes and the Maillard. So again, going back to the Maillard process, which is the same carbonization that happens on a steak, happens with the malt, with the barley, and so you want to pair those 2 together, and you're going to come up with some really cool flavors.
All right.
So I would do one of those 2.
Cool. What about sushi?
Sushi. Sushi, I would either do a slightly fruited sour.
Okay.
But I think probably the best beer for sushi, and this goes against traditional thought, which is beers, kind of the terroir. You want to match the terroir of the beer with the food, and so you would think like a nice light rice lager.
I was just gonna think that.
Which is what you get.
Yeah.
But I want something that's got a little bit more character, and I would choose a German Kolsch.
Okay.
A German Kolsch is slightly floral. It's got a little bit of fruit notes. It still finishes super clean and crisp. But it's the fruity notes and the floral notes are going to really add to the flavor profile of whatever the fish is doing, because fish is pretty straightforward, and you're going to get those notes. But you'll want just a hint of a little bit of a fruity / floral note to go with that. It's so small, but the beers are so crisp still. You're going to get the same idea, but just with a little bit of flavor component to go with that.
I love a good fancy lawnmower. Do y'all have a Kolsch?
Oh yeah,
What do y'all have?
Yeah, so ours is called Lonesome.
Okay.
And oddly enough, where we're sitting, unfortunately the people listening can't see this, but you see a big longhorn.
Yeah.
That's back here. We have a big longhorn on the wall.
In a frame.
Yeah, and his name is Lonesome. So
Okay.
he came off of a ranch from a dear friend of ours, and this consummate cowboy gentleman that comes in every day. And his name is Lonesome, and that's his favorite beer, the rancher that comes in every day.
Yeah.
He drinks the Kolsch, and so
Yeah.
we renamed it, in honor of him, we renamed it Lonesome.
That's cool.
After that guy right there.
So, this is a side question. We're stepping away. Do you ever get in, like, rodeo? Dabble into that? You got any experience with that?
No, I mean, I like to go watch it.
Do you remember Bodacious?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, of course.
Okay. that just sparked memory, because
Yes.
I remember going to see Bodacious as
Yes.
a kid. It was like, holy shit, that guy.
Oh, my gosh.
Killer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
All right.
Whatever happened to Bodacious?
I think he retired on a farm for sure.
Yeah,
at the end of the
yeah.
day. But I hear his offspring goes for a lot of money.
I'm sure it does.
In the back then, when you could get it, it went for a whole lot.
Oh, it had to.
Like,
That was
there's-
like one of the most famous bulls.
Yeah. There's
ever.
a couple of Bodacious Juniors out there, I think.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, and man, I actually saw people try to ride Bodacious,
Really?
and no one ever stayed on, like in
Yeah.
Fort Worth.
Yeah.
And Mesquite too. I think he showed up in
I
Mesquite.
saw him once.
Yeah. It was like, that
He
was
was a bad man.
It was me. Crazy. Yeah.
So what about barbecue? What are you going to pair with barbecue?
Ooh, barbecue. Okay, so you can always do, going back to the German Pilsner, something nice and light. So just same thing, if you've got a heavy meat, you want something that's going to clean the palate.
Okay.
But also you need to do something big enough that's going to pair well with it. I actually think West Coast IPAs go really well with barbecue, because you get the bitterness and you get like so much umami. There's so much going on with the steak, but those flavors actually go really well together.
Yeah.
Shockingly enough, people don't give IPAs enough credit. I'm talking about West Coast IPAs for food pairing.
Yeah.
Because, like, for example, they go ridiculously well with blue cheese. And so, yeah, people they underestimate, think, oh, it's just a bitter beer.
Yeah.
But it actually is a great beer to pair with food. But barbecue, because of the smoke and the heavy flavors, if you have that bitterness, it really helps cut a lot of that.
Yeah.
And kind of preps your palate for the next bite. So, yeah.
Good information. Good information. We got two more. What
Yep.
about a fried chicken sandwich?
Ooh, fried. What kind of sauce?
Really just like the fried chicken breast itself. I don't really like the buffalo on it, so pretty much just a naked fried breast.
Okay.
Pickles, maybe some cheese on there. Simple. That's about it.
Okay. What kind of cheese?
Probably American.
Okay,
Yeah.
American. Okay, so you got American cheese. You have some pickles. I would actually say, like I want something that's, it's fried, so you need something that's going to go really well with it. We have a honey amber ale
Okay.
that, I would say a honey amber ale. It's big enough. It has a little bit of sweetness, but that sweetness, you think if you have, like a honey battered chicken or something like that, so you get all those savory flavors, but maybe it's a little bit salty. You got a little bit of the pickle is going to give you a little bit of that kind of sour tartness, and then the cheese. But the honey amber, it gives you just enough of sweetness to give you a different flavor that's going to complement that really, really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say honey amber for that guy.
Honey amber. What are we pairing with pizza?
Anything.
Anything. Okay. That's a good one.
I mean, come on. Or when are we eating the pizza? Is it 2 a.m.? Is
No.
it 10 a.m.?
Probably just dinner time.
Dinner time?
Maybe even a lunch. Let's do a lunch.
Lunch. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. You know what? Pizza's one of those, you can eat anything with pizza.
Yeah.
I would either do, but let's see, if I were to try to think of something totally different. Okay, what's on the pizza?
Let's do like little meat lovers, I guess.
Okay. Ooh, meat lovers?
Yeah.
Okay. Meat lovers. Okay, so because you got so much meat, I would tend towards, probably like a Pilsner again, something like that. But you know what? I think I would do probably do like a hazy IPA.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably do. They're light, but they got flavor. They're going to be big enough as long as you get one, like maybe a double. Not a single, but like an imperial or a double hazy IPA. That's going to be big enough to stand up to all that grease and all that flavor. That's probably what I would do.
Cool. Last one. Not a food. Yard work. Yard work for me. I mean, you're working out there. You're sweating. You're covered in grass clippings. It's hot. You just finished.
Yeah.
What are you going to throw back?
Oh yeah. Okay. St. Arnold absolutely nailed this idea when they came out with the lawnmower beer. I mean, like they just absolutely nailed it.
Yeah.
And that's a Kolsch. That's just super light, easy drinking. I still won't go to after. Mowing the yard and working outside, I won't go to like a super light beer.
Yeah.
I still want something with a little bit of flavor.
Yeah.
So I think a Kolsch works really well with that because it's so good and easy and it's crispy. Maybe a Helles would be really good. Or don't judge me. Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
No joke.
We have a Gatorade hard seltzer.
No, I love that. That was so
I think you
good.
tried it.
It was good.
It is like light and crisp and clean, and you drink it, and it's just like flavored water almost.
It's so good.
But then it has electrolytes in it, so it's gonna get you taken care of.
Do y'all can that?
Yeah.
I might have to pick up.
Oh yeah. No, thanks, man.
I love that. That was really good.
But that one is, and so here's what normally happens. You're working outside, you get done, like, okay, you know what, it's beer time. I'll take one of those, and I will just down it. I won't shotgun it, but I'll like, I'm thirsty, I'm just going to poof, I'm going to just nail that. I'm going to do that. Then I'll sit down, and I'll probably have, either like a Helles, maybe a Kolsch, or an IPA.
Yeah.
Just like a lighter IPA, not big, not heavy, nothing with a lot of crystal malt that's too sweet. Just something light and easy.
Nice. Cool. A lot of information on that. Seth, thank you on that.
Yeah, man.
What's your thoughts or experience with the shower beer? You ever heard about that?
Of course.
The
I just
shower
had one
beer.
the other day.
Love the shower beer.
I had one the other day.
You have to work your ass off to deserve the shower beer, I feel.
You do. Okay, so yeah, just the other day we were working outside. We were doing a big garage clean out, and we were out there for like 12 hours and finished. And then we had an event to go to that night. And yeah, oh hell yeah, I was like done working, taking a shower. I went to the kitchen. We got a fridge, and we have 2 beer fridges just dedicated to beer. We have more beer than food in the house, but that's what do you expect of somebody that owns a brewery. And yeah, I was like, man, I got to get a beer, and so I got a beer for the shower.
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, anything. I am a proponent that anything can be a shower beer.
Anything?
It's like, you know
I think
what?
So.
Don't be hating. I mean, like if you want a big ass, 10% stout.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah.
If you want to have, a seltzer, go for it. If you want to have, just a light beer, I would think most of the time though, because you're like, okay, you're pre-gaming the pregame.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, you gotta pace yourself. So my shower beers are typically pretty easy drinking. Pilsner, just an easy drinking, 5.5% Pilsner is like my, you get a good German Pilsner and you're like, oh, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good night. Yeah. And if you're starting in the shower, you're like, okay, this is, I'm living the good life right now. So, that's
Definitely.
where I am.
Freaks and Geeks, if you've never had a shower beer, get one of those. Definitely.
Do not, don't, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't dismiss yourself. Take care of yourself.
Yeah. A few more questions and we'll wrap it on up here. You're doing a beer sensory workshop. Tell us about this. Is this?
Are you staying?
No, I got to hit the road after that. I wish.
Why don't you stay for it?
What time is it at? 3?
3.
I don't see why not then.
It's about an hour.
Yeah.
So stay and hang out with us, man.
Yeah, I'm down. We can do that.
Stay and hang out with us.
For sure.
It's fun, man. We have a really good time.
Is this your first one? The first one you've done?
No. So I've been doing some not trying to, but I really get into this stuff. So I'm a certified BJCP beer judge.
Yeah.
A certified Cicerone. So Cicerone's kind of like the equivalent of a sommelier if you're into wine. So I'm really kind of a nerd on this.
Yeah.
This is perfect because I'm a nerd. I'm a geek, and it's like this is like right up my alley. So it's like I feel like I'm virtually hanging out with my people.
Yeah.
So because I'm just a nerd across the board. It's like this is great. This is like where good conversations happen. So we've been doing it for a while informally, and then we decided to do it formally, and so far it's been really good. We've done, I don't know, probably about a dozen of these classes, maybe 12, 15, I don't know. But we're doing them, a lot of them have been like for private companies or something like that, so now we're starting to do them just for the public.
Yeah.
And this is we did a beer and cheese pairing, which was the sensory class, but we did it with food. And then we did one that was just a sensory class, and this is the second, like just straight sensory class.
Yeah. Cool. So
it's a lot of fun.
I like that. Let's talk about the rise and fall. This is a, how do I say it? It's good and bad. It's heartfelt, but the rise and fall of breweries in Denton. We've seen Audacity. We've seen Alamo Ale Works. They've come and gone. But Armadillo. My apologies.
Yeah,
yes,
that's good.
Like, how has it been in this entire scene to last through that?
And our good friends over at Howling Mutt just said they're shutting down too.
Okay.
Yeah, there's one here. That's a really, really hard question because I've seen, going all the way back to Audacity, Doug and Bobby at Armadillo. He's a dear friend of mine. He's just a salt of the earth, just a gentleman of a man. He's got a huge heart. Just a really good guy and a fantastic brewer, by the way. And then our good friends over at Howling Mutt. What's the question? Like, what do you want? Like, what? Just the state of the union? Like, what do you think? Like, what's happening? Or like,
was there any fear of going through? Because
hell yeah.
Yeah, was there fear
a lot of
as
fear.
a brewer going through that? Seeing the paint on the painting on the wall of like, hey, there's people around me setting up and shutting down.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not.
It's not fun.
Yeah, it's the follow through. It's not happening. So there was tons of fear, but also one thing that we talked about, my wife and I, in this whole process was, if we don't try, we will regret that forever.
Yeah.
If you don't try, you may fail.
Yeah.
But
you're going to fail if you don't try, no matter what.
But by God, the answer is no if you don't try.
Yeah.
So, and that's when we went into this. We're like, you know what? There is no turning back. As we talked about, we purposefully did not want to have a plan B because it's like we don't want any. I don't want 1% of my headspace to think, well, it's okay if this doesn't work out. We can move on. So. We knew that, okay, we got to hustle, man. We're going to be in the trenches and we're going to be working and making it happen. And you know what? It's still a battle every day. And I feel for the guys. COVID was ridiculously hard on small businesses across the board. all small businesses. But here's the dichotomy of Denton. Denton is a really big craft beer fan. There's a lot of craft beer in town. Like you can. This is kind of a stat that we throw around: is you can go within a 5-block radius, and you can hit over 500 craft beer taps.
Really?
That's a lot of craft beer.
That's a lot.
So, and I'm talking about just craft beer. So, if you go to a bar and they've got 20 taps, and 5 of them are Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Lite, Ultra, and Dos Equis, we don't count those taps.
Yeah.
We're just going to count 15 out of the 20. So, just craft taps, you've got so many choices.
Yeah.
And, that's the blessing and the curse. Unlike a place like Bend, Oregon, or Asheville, North Carolina, like places that are known and they're destinations for being craft beer meccas. San Diego, you look at Denver, Colorado, you look at, those are bigger cities, obviously, but places that are on the map for being like true craft beer places. So I think at some point, Denton will start being recognized as a place for craft beer. But until that happens, we're all going to struggle to fight to create that awareness where we get beer tourism that comes to town and that continue to support craft beer. My hope is that, one day Denton will have 7-10 craft breweries.
Yeah.
And even, I'd love to see wineries down here. I'd love to see distilleries down here. I'd love to see it become a mecca like some of these other places. And then when that happens, there'll be enough velocity for everybody to survive and make it. Otherwise, it's just going to continue to be, we're all going to have to, fight to stay open. And it's just, it is what it is. But those guys, all those folks that had breweries here, that they've moved on to really cool stuff and doing really cool things. So it's it is what it is.
Yeah.
It sucks, but it is what it is. But I would say, Denton, it loves craft beer, but I think we need it. We're still kind of a small town, so we need I think we need more breweries.
Yeah.
And that will attract more people thinking, oh, wow, it's a destination for beer.
Yeah.
And we're just having trouble getting over that hump.
Yeah.
So
it'll get over it eventually.
Eventually it'll happen. So Toasty Bros is another brewery that's opening up, hopefully this fall. So, we'll be back to 2. And, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, as they say, we'll get, 3 or 4. I legitimately, I would love to see, call it a dozen breweries here.
Yeah.
And then that would attract more people that are beer fans.
So you talked about music and acting and a little bit of records. I think we'll finish off on here, and then we'll wrap it up with a little conclusion.
All right.
What's your taste in music like? What's your appreciation of records? What's going on there?
Oh man, I listen to my playlists. I listen to so many kinds of music. Mm-hmm. I like everything.
Yeah.
I like Texas country. I like heavy metal. I like hip hop. I love jazz. I love some pop music. I literally listen to all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just I think it's kind of like beer for me. It's like, you know what? This is fun. I want to try it all out. I want to try everything out. And you know what? I will tell you, I've got 4 kids that have 4 different palettes for music, and they all turn me on to cool stuff.
Yeah.
So, especially my youngest son now, he works here at the brewery too. His name is Jake, and he has just such a great palette for music, and he turns me on to cool stuff all the time. Yeah, he and I both are big vinyl fans now. Cool. So, yeah.
Do you remember your first concert?
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
What's you got there?
Yeah. Oh God! Why don't you tell my favorite concert? But okay, my first concert was in Denton at the old Fouts Field before they tore it down.
Yeah.
It was the Oak Ridge Boys.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, like back in the early '80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My first concert was the Monkees.
The Monkees.
Yeah,
That's
It's okay.
But that's kind of cool
It's
because
cool.
like everybody knows the Monkees.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think my parents took me to it, and I was like,
Yes. Yeah. Well, that was at the time.
they're cool. They're definitely cool,
Yeah.
but
But it was like, I never saw the Monkees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal. They had a TV show and everything,
for
man.
sure. Cool car and
yeah,
whatnot.
exactly. That's awesome.
What was your favorite concert?
Favorite concert. So I've got a bunch. I've been to a lot of concerts. A lot of concerts. Yeah, a lot of concerts. But my favorite, I think the one that I just look back and think, man, just thank God I was there, was in 1990, right after the Berlin Wall came down in Berlin. There was a concert where Pink Floyd performed The Wall at the Wall at Potsdamer Platz. Sorry, and it was Pink Floyd, it was the Scorpions, it was Thomas Dolby, it was Cyndi Lauper, it was Sinead O'Connor, it was the Chieftains, it was an all-day concert.
You were there?
Yeah.
That's probably the best concert we've had depicted on this podcast. That's sick.
It was
That's
so
cool.
sick. It was it was people, the Gypsy Kings were there. I mean, it was like people from all around the world, like, famous musicians, and they were all there, and it was over 500,000 people, and it was just freaking crazy, and it was amazing to be a part of that. So that was, everyone was just sleeping everywhere. That was a wild few days, man, but it was, God, what a great concert.
Yeah,
I
imagine,
man. It was cool.
I might have to go out and watch that tonight.
Yeah, because
cool.
they videoed it, and
I have to check that out. Going off of records, do you have like a top? So you're stranded on a desert island. You got five in your collection.
Okay.
Maybe 6.
Okay.
What are you gonna take with you?
Okay. I'm a U2 fan, so I'm taking Joshua Tree.
Okay.
This is a hard question. I'm going to take Joshua Tree. I'm going to take some old, like, cool jazz, or just maybe, like some Billie Holiday.
Okay.
Or something like that. Let's see. Are these? Yeah, like I've got just top 5 albums.
Not necessarily top 5, but like, I mean, it could be top 5,
Can I
but
do
more so
greatest
like.
hits?
Yeah, you can do. Yeah.
Okay.
You can do little compilations for sure.
Yeah, because I don't even know if these exist. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna maybe I'm gonna create my own album, create my own playlist right now.
Yeah.
But so I would do that one. I would have to do something that's like Texas country. I'm a big Robert O'Keefe fan.
Okay.
I would do that.
Did you like his honey pills when they were dropping that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah?
yeah,
That was pretty good.
That was
I
good.
dig
It was
that.
it was super easy. Yeah, from Pedernales.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good stuff. So I would do that. I'd have to get something Rolling Stones. Yeah, I'm definitely a Stones fan.
Love Stones.
Yeah, and then I would probably this is kind of ridiculous, but I would probably need like a Motley Crue greatest hits. Yeah,
All right.
I need a mix. I need a little bit of everything.
That's good.
So that's probably
That's good.
What are yours? You have them dialed in?
Oh, yeah. So if I'm going off, gotta take them. I think I've done it before. Sticky Fingers.
Oh, yeah.
Sticky
okay.
Fingers is Rolling Stones album.
Yeah.
And then I'm going with this one called, what's it called? It's a Buddy Guy album, and it's called Stone Crazy.
Yes.
You got that?
Very, very cool. Yeah, that's a good one.
I love that one. So that's Sticky Fingers, that's Stone Crazy, that's Buddy Guy. I really like, it's another Rolling Stones album, and I think it's Some Girl.
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yeah,
It's got them on the cover, and it like moves with. They're like
it's got
selling
all the
wigs.
pictures. Yeah, and they're all wigs on.
Yeah.
They're like these old timey like 50s pictures.
Yeah, that's got "Miss You" on it, and that "Miss You" is one of my favorite
good.
Stones tracks. Yeah, love that one.
That is one of the. I think it is Some Girl or Somewhere Girl. Some Girl. That is, I think, one of the unsung heroes of Rolling Stones albums. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I love that.
A lot of people do Sticky Fingers. They do, Beggar's Feast. There's so many good ones. Exile on Main Street. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting the name. This is a Black Sabbath one. It's not. Is it Master of Reality? That's not a Metallica, is it? They're Master of Puppets, right?
They're Master of Puppets. Oh man, see, I need a Metallica album in there too.
I think it's Master of Reality for Black Sabbath. That's one of my favorites right there.
Man, we need to get together and talk more music. Right?
I love it.
think we're doing pretty good. Yeah, Master of Reality.
That's a really good album. One of my favorites of them. I just recently was able to acquire that.
Very cool. I'm a Paranoid fan.
I dig that. Yeah. I think after that, I'll throw some hip hop with some Action Bronson.
Ooh,
you like him?
Yeah.
I'll throw Mr. Wonderful. That's really good.
Dang. See, off the cuff, it's hard to remember everybody.
I love that one.
Yeah.
And I'll go. Oh man, I love Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
I love her stuff, but I'll probably throw an Amy Winehouse.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, I'll throw her in there. And I don't remember Back to Black, whichever album that was. I forget. Whichever album Back to Black is, I'll throw Amy Winehouse on there.
God, man, that's hard. That's a hard one because Lady Gaga. Man,
love her.
She is so talented.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's crazy how many different directions she pulls herself. And I know she's, like the meat dress and all that stuff, but it's like, man, she's so creative.
Yeah.
And it's like, she is to like pop culture and pop music, I think what craft beer is to beer. It's like, hey, let's push the limits, man.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what pop culture is or is not, because I'm about to tell you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the way I feel about beer. So yeah,
I got you there.
Yeah,
no, I got to see
awesome.
her last August at Globe.
Oh, cool.
That was really. I've been trying to see her so much, and I was like, I got to check her out. That was really exciting.
Taylor Swift has been spending some days in DFW.
Oh, really?
Did you get a chance to? I'm a quasi. This sounds funny, but Taylor Swift fan just because she's. So influential, and she's such a good performer.
Yeah.
But talking to some of the people, they said the show was amazing. I mean, she's just such a good performer. And
I've never seen her live or anything like that.
I heard she'd be good, though. But you just talk about, like, someone who is influential in everything that is happening in music right now. I mean, she's just, like, she's one of, like, several, right? But, she's just, she'd be cool to see just because she's Taylor Swift. Yeah. So
let's talk about acting and then let's close it out. What's your venture on that? Who are your favorite actors or films?
Oh man, I'm so boring. I mean, I'm so predictable when it comes to stuff like that. I'm so predictable. My favorite movie of all time is It's a Wonderful Life.
That's good.
Yeah. It's and I love the story because. One, I love the holidays. Mm-hmm. People, like, I don't like Christmas. Are you kidding? I love Christmas. It's about family and it's about friends and it's about celebrations and it's about, there's so many, and just the purpose of Christmas. I mean, I'm into all of that.
Yeah.
So that's really good. So I love that movie because it basically says no matter what life throws at you, you're probably where you should be for a reason, and there's purpose to it, and just, latch onto that and be thankful for that, and, dig into that because you're probably where you should be.
Yeah.
So, I love that. That's my favorite one. I love...
Going off that Jimmy Stewart, have you seen Rear Window? Hitchcock?
Yes.
That's a good one.
That's a really good
Rear
one.
Window.
Yeah. That one's really cool. I'm a Hitchcock fan, too, just because he took elements that... are so now there's like so much like this is a weird thing to say, but like cotton candy, like blood candy, like just throw a bunch of blood, have a bunch of people fighting in, have a bunch of cool special effects, and the movie, that's all you got to do.
Yeah.
He was so much more like psychologically thrilling. He like mentally messed with you. And to me that's just like really cool and thoughtful. So I like that. I like old movies because before tech. Now I love. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Marvel movies, I'm going to see them all. I mean, just because they're so much fun. It is like cotton candy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they had to create interest in a movie without having all of those, toys to play with to make the movies beautiful, right? But I'm pretty predictable. I like Tombstone. I love Saving Private Ryan. I know it's not a movie; it's a series, but Band of Brothers.
Okay.
Huge fan. That's Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
I think Tom Hanks is a great actor. I think he does a lot of really amazing stuff. So I'm pretty predictable with. Yeah, just big classics. This is old school, but Dances with Wolves.
Okay.
Yeah, is a good one. Braveheart, yeah.
What's your thought on A Perfect World? You ever seen that? Perfect World. Kevin Costner. It's got the little kid, real rural area, Texas thing. Clint Eastwood directed it.
I haven't seen that one.
Check that out. Really good. I'm pretty sure it's Kevin Costner.
I got to write that down.
A Perfect World. Such a beautiful film. I feel like it has...
Dang it, how did I miss that one?
It has ties to Lockhart as well. There's a lot of filming that's gone on in that Lockhart area.
That is so cool. Yeah. What about you? Like, what are some...
Actors-wise, I love De Niro.
Yeah. Yes.
DiCaprio.
Yes.
Nicholson. Robert Duvall, I tend to draw
so good.
to. Love Robert Duvall.
Yeah.
Love him in Colors.
Lonesome Dove.
Lonesome Dove. He was in Falling Down. You remember that movie? With
which one was that?
Falling Down is him.
He's so good though.
He's so good. He's one of my favorite actors. I'm forgetting his name.
He kind of reminds me of
Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas is in Falling Down with Robert Duvall. Check that one out. It's not the happiest movie in the world, but it's just about the downfall of a guy.
Yeah, he's good. That's kind of the Sam Elliott vibes. It's like anything with Sam is like, it's going to be a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love Tarantino stuff.
Oh, so good. Those are just those are
my vibes.
Yeah, so good.
Really what's one I love that modern adaptation of Romeo and Juliet with
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Love that one.
Good.
Based off the
John, how you say his last
Leguizamo.
name? Yeah, Leguizamo.
Yeah, he kills
Leguizamo,
that.
Yeah.
And based off of the Gaga thing, love A Star Is Born. Huge A Star Is Born fan.
So good.
Yeah, she kills that.
They did, and Cooper did, the both of them. That was such a better rendition than the first one, which was kind of But, man, that was such... And the song they did together, I listen to that all the time. Yeah. It's so good.
And then a lot of that music was written by Lucas Wilson. Or Lucas Nelson.
Yeah,
Willie's kid.
Lucas,
Yeah. So that's really cool.
I saw him in concert.
I want to see him.
Yeah, he was good, man. He was good.
I do want to see his stuff.
He was really good. I was in Tennessee in Nashville and saw him once. Yeah. He's good. It's cool to see that the Willie tradition will continue. Yeah. Or, it is continuing because, God bless Willie, man.
No, he does really good.
Guys, he's the best.
Yeah.
Okay, a concert thing. I know we're long, but I will tell you another cool concert I saw was, you're familiar with the Highwaymen?
Sounds familiar.
So the Highwaymen were a thing back in the deal, and it was kind of a super group. It was Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash.
Sounds familiar.
Chris Christopherson, and Waylon Jennings.
Okay.
And so they created a super group, and they were all in a band together, and I saw them live.
That's cool.
So I saw Johnny Cash and Waylon and Willie and Chris, and they were all. That was so cool. Yeah. That was a hell of a concert.
I dig that. I've only seen Willie. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Johnny was good. Oh, they were all good. Yeah.
I think my best concert I've ever seen, aside from the Gaga thing, is I've seen the Rolling Stones, and I love
that's
the
so
fact.
Cool.
That's the best thing ever. The fact that I can say that,
that is so cool.
Shout out to the parents for taking me to Zilker Park that day, for even being like, "Hey, we got a ticket, come through." Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Well, you had to fight through the monkeys, but you got the stones. You got the stones out of it.
Yep.
You know what they were doing? They were hitting some buttons for you. Yeah. They were checking some boxes.
Yeah, they got it. Yeah.
Very nice.
Well, Seth, thank you so much. Let's close this out. You want to plug any events, upcoming events, or where can we find you on social media? Where can we find Denton Brewing Company on social media? And just tell the freaks and geeks, give them the direction to click that follow button for us.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, man, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been so wonderful. And, man, please, hope you stick around for the sensory class because we'll have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so upcoming events, honestly, we are event heavy, so check out our social media.
For sure.
If you're we're mainly Instagram,
Okay.
we do some Facebook, those are our two main ones. Just follow us. Yeah, just check out at DentonCBC.com, and you can see what all we've got going on. But that's really the best thing. Unfortunately, we're pretty local, so if you want to check out the beer, you got to be in North Texas at a craft beer-centric bar, or you know what, just come to the tap room, and we'll play the five what do you drink question game, and get you something really good, and hopefully you have a good experience. But yeah, man, I hope to see some people, and if you come into the tap room, ask for me, and also say that you found us through this podcast, because we'd love to take you on a tour and show you around, and just say thank you for the support all the way around.
Yeah.
So,
excellent.
Yeah.
Well, we'll post the details in the show notes, and that's all I got, man. I'm going to close it out real quick, and then
All right.
we'll carry on. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
again for
cheers
that.
to you, man. There's a
Cheers,
little
cheers.
left there. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, Freaks and Geeks, thank you for listening. And remember, new episodes are released every Wednesday at 6 a.m. Also, make sure you go subscribe to the podcast in whichever podcast platform that you prefer. Make sure you leave a comment and rate the podcast while you're there subscribing. And also, hit us up on that podcast hotline. Drop a question. We didn't have any questions today. We could have had some questions answered by Seth, but hit us up on 512-522-3814 and drop your question. Also, follow us on Instagram. Those links are going to be posted in the show notes. Continue to tell Freaks and Geeks that you know about the podcast. And remember, the Doctor's Orders podcast is a Life or Death Studios production. Freaks and Geeks, until next time, we'll see you on the next one. Don't be late.